There's a woman in my neighborhood who's 78. She walks past my window every morning with 2 grocery bags and a smile. Her posture is straighter than mine. Her skin has that soft, lit from inside look you can't fake with cream. And she moves like someone half her age. I finally asked her one Sunday what her secret was. She laughed and said, "Honey, there's no secret. I just do the same little things every day." That sentence stuck with me, because I've spent years reading about aging, longevity, health, all of it. And the more I look, the more I keep landing in the same quiet place. People who age slowly aren't doing anything dramatic. They're doing small, boring, doable things every single day. And today, I want to walk you through what those daily habits actually look like. Not a cure, not a miracle, not a supplement stack that costs more than your rent. Just the daily routine of people who seem to age at their own pace. Here's the honest part first. You cannot stop time. Anyone who tells you they can is selling you something. But how you feel at 60, 70, 80? That part is far more in your hands than most people realize. So let's start where they start. The morning. People who age slowly almost always wake up at roughly the same time each day. Not a punishing 5 a.m. alarm, not a wellness stunt. Just a consistent window their body can count on. Your body loves rhythm more than it loves intensity. A steady wake-up time is like giving your internal clock a job description. It knows when to release energy, when to wind down, when to repair. And here's the simple part. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be roughly consistent most days of the week. Next comes light. Real, actual daylight on your face early in the day. You don't need a fancy lamp. You need a window, a balcony, a walk to the mailbox, a coffee outside. 10 minutes of morning light does more for your day than most people expect. It helps you feel awake now and sleepy later at the right time. That single habit ripples through everything else. Now here's the part most people skip. Water before caffeine. Not because coffee is evil. Coffee is beautiful, and I will die on that hill. But your body has just gone 8 hours without a sip. A glass of water first gives your system a gentle nudge before you pour the rocket fuel in. Small habit, small effort, real payoff. And speaking of small habits, let's talk about movement. People who age slowly don't necessarily crush workouts. Some do, and that's great. But most of them just move, often in ordinary ways. They walk to the shop instead of driving. They take the stairs when the stairs are right there. They garden, they stretch, they carry their own groceries. Movement isn't a thing they schedule. It's a thing that's woven into their day. Here's a reframe I love. Sitting still isn't laziness. It's a signal from a body that's been designed for centuries to move gently, often. You don't need to become an athlete. You need to become someone who moves a little many times a day. 2-minute walks, a slow stretch when you stand up, a lap around the kitchen while the kettle boils. That's the pattern. Now let's talk about the plate. I promise this won't be a lecture. People who age slowly tend to eat mostly real, recognizable food. Vegetables, beans, whole grains, fruit, nuts, fish or lean protein, olive oil, herbs. Not because they're on a diet. Because that's just what's on their table. They're not perfect eaters. They enjoy bread, wine, cake at a birthday, chocolate on a Tuesday. But the everyday baseline of their plate is simple, colorful, and mostly plants. Here's the reframe. You don't have to give things up. You just have to add more of the good stuff in. An extra handful of greens on the plate. A piece of fruit instead of a second cookie, most days. A slower meal, eaten sitting down instead of a rushed one over the sink. And this is where the second quiet secret comes in. They stop eating when they're comfortably full, not stuffed. There's a lovely old idea from the longest living communities. Eat until you're about 80% full. Not a rule, not a diet. Just a gentle habit of listening to your body a beat longer than usual. If that feels foreign, try this tonight. Put your fork down between bites. Actually taste the food. Notice the moment your body sighs and says, "Okay, that was enough." That single practice, done often, is quietly powerful. Now here's the part I really want you to hear. People who age slowly do not live in constant emergency mode. Life still throws things at them. Bills, losses, bad news, hard weeks. They're not immune, but they have small daily practices that help their nervous system come back down. A morning coffee on the porch in silence. A slow walk after dinner. A phone call with someone who makes them laugh. A book, a prayer, a garden, a hobby that has nothing to do with productivity. Stress isn't the enemy. Stress that never gets to switch off is the harder story. So the goal isn't a stress-free life. The goal is regular tiny off-ramps every single day. Which brings us to sleep. Sleep is where the body does its quiet repair work. Skin, muscle, memory, mood, all of it. You can eat perfectly and move daily, but if sleep is a mess, everything else works harder to keep up. People who age slowly protect their sleep like it's a small child. They don't always get 8 hours, but they build a routine that gives them a real shot at good sleep, most nights. The bedroom is cool, dark, and boring. Screens dim down as the evening gets late. Heavy meals and late caffeine get gently rethought. And here's the tiny habit that costs nothing. They go to bed at roughly the same time each night. Same as the morning, your body loves rhythm. If your sleep is struggling and you've tried everything, please talk to a doctor. That's not failure, that's smart. But for a lot of us, the fix isn't dramatic. It's just a slightly earlier wind down, a slightly quieter room, a slightly more predictable hour. Now here's a habit that surprises people. People who age slowly tend to have strong, warm relationships. Not a huge social calendar. Not 1,000 friends. Just a small handful of people they see, talk to, laugh with, argue with, love. Loneliness is heavier on the body than we used to think. Connection is medicine you don't have to buy. A weekly phone call with a sister. A regular walk with a neighbor. A meal you cook for someone, or a meal someone cooks for you. These moments are not extras. They are part of the routine. If you're the kind of person who's been putting off calling someone, this is your soft nudge. Do it this week. That counts. And here's the reframe I want you to sit with. Aging slowly is not a solo sport. The people who do it best are almost always doing it inside a small circle of humans who care about them. Now let's talk about the mind. People who age slowly keep learning. Not in an intense, get-a-second-degree way. In a curious, playful way. They read, they garden, they cook new things, they take a class, they learn a card game. Their brain gets to stay a beginner at something. That posture of being willing to be new at a thing keeps the mind supple. You don't have to master anything. You just have to be interested in something outside yourself. A language app for 10 minutes. A puzzle in the evening. A recipe you've never tried. That's the muscle. Here's another quiet habit. They have a sense of purpose that gets them out of bed. It doesn't have to be huge. It can be a garden that needs watering. A grandchild who visits on Fridays. A group they volunteer with once a month. A craft they're slowly getting better at. People who feel needed and useful and connected to something tend to feel more alive for longer. That's not romantic talk. That's just what shows up over and over in the way long-lived people describe their days. So here's a small question for you. What's one thing in your week that makes you feel useful or needed? If you don't have one yet, that's information, not a failure. You get to plant one. Okay, let's slow down for a second. I know this can start to feel like a big list. Wake up steady, get light, drink water, move often, eat plants, stop at 80%, calm the nervous system, sleep well, love your people, keep learning, have a purpose. Reading it back, it can sound like a lot. But here's the honest truth. Nobody who ages slowly is doing all of these perfectly. They're doing most of them imperfectly on repeat. That's the whole trick. Consistency, not intensity. Boring, not brilliant. If you took just 3 of these habits and did them, kind of okay, most days for a year, you'd be a different person on the other side. Not younger, but steadier, stronger, calmer, more yourself. Now here's the piece I really don't want you to miss. People who age slowly are gentle with themselves. They don't punish their body for aging. They don't yell at the mirror. They don't treat every wrinkle like a personal failure. They tend to speak about their body with a kind of quiet respect. This body carried me through a lot. This body is still here. This body deserves care, not war. That mindset is not fluff. The way you talk to yourself every day becomes the soundtrack your body lives inside. Choose it carefully. Choose it kindly. Let's talk about something practical for a moment. If you're just starting out, don't try to change everything at once. Pick one habit for this week. Just one. Maybe it's 10 minutes of morning light. Maybe it's a glass of water before coffee. Maybe it's a short walk after dinner. Whatever feels the smallest and the easiest. Do it for 7 days. Notice how it feels. Then, and only then, add the next one. That is how habits actually stack in a real human life, not on a whiteboard. And please hear this clearly. Nothing in this video is medical advice. If something in your body feels off, or your sleep is really struggling, or your energy has changed a lot, talk to a doctor or a professional you trust. These daily habits are supportive. They are not a replacement for real care when you need it. You get to have both. Now a soft one from me. If you're watching this, I'd love to know which habit you're going to try first. Just one. Drop it in the comments so I can cheer you on. And if this is helping, share it with the person in your life who's always saying they want to feel better but doesn't know where to start. Okay, back to the routine. There's one more thing I want to add, and it's my favorite. People who age slowly seem to slow down on purpose. They linger over their coffee. They walk without checking their phone every 10 seconds. They eat sitting down. They say no to things that don't matter so they can say yes to things that do. Their days are not empty. Their days are edited. In a world that's always trying to speed you up, choosing to slow down is a quiet kind of rebellion. And it might be the most useful thing you can do. So let's zoom all the way out. If you asked me to shrink this whole video into a single sentence, it would be this. Wake up steady, move often, eat mostly real food, sleep like it matters, stay close to your people, keep your mind curious, be kind to your body, and slow down enough to actually live inside your own life. None of that is glamorous. All of that is available to you today, right now. You don't need a new supplement, a new gadget, or a new personality. You just need one small habit done today and then done again tomorrow. That's how people age slowly. Not by chasing youth. By tending to their days, one gentle habit at a time. If this was helpful, I'd love it if you followed along for more. I put out simple, doable wellness videos like this every week, always in plain language, always without the fear-mongering. Subscribe so the next one finds you. Like this one if it made you feel a little more hopeful about your own routine. And take care of that body of yours. It's the only one you get, and it's carrying you beautifully. I'll see you in the next one.